Hello, everyone, and welcome to the RunIowa podcast. I'm Rob Lindquist.
And I'm David Kading.
This is episode 110 of the podcast. And on this episode, we have a cool show for you today.
Yeah, we do.
We have a review of Rough Road Sports Shorts.
Yes.
Which is a local company, well, on the west side of Iowa at least.
Right.
We're going to talk with Molly Sheridan, who is an ultra marathoner. And quick story, we asked about documentaries to watch. And she is featured in one that we watched.
Yes, she is.
So we're going to talk with her, and then our of the weeks.
Great show.
Awesome show. Okay, stick with us. Episode 110 of the RunIowa podcast. All right, Dave, how you doing?
Doing well.
Awesome. How's your training going? You got some training going on right now?
Going pretty good considering the weather.
Yeah. It's Iowa. It's February. I get it.
It's terrible.
It is. It's cold. But that actually, we're going to get right into it. That actually brings us to our review. We're going to review some Rough Road shorts.
Yes.
That we were lucky enough to get a hand on. Or I guess not a hand on, but get a pair for each of us.
Yep.
And it's a local company out of Omaha, Nebraska, which is local for us, right in our metro area. And they're trying to spread their market by word of mouth and getting people out there wearing their product. And we both tried out the same style of short. And I guess before we get into the technical aspects, how about big picture? What do you think big picture? And then we'll get into the technical stuff and talk about what makes these different.
Good, comfortable shorts.
Yeah.
I have no complaints. Probably worn them running, 5, 6 times. And they've held up well and haven't seemed to show any wear or tear after just 5 washings. And because I have a hot tub at home, when we run early in the morning, sometimes I'll run, clean up, and if my running shorts aren't too sweaty, I just wear them into the hot tub, and they haven't bleached out color-wise or anything else.
Okay, so I'm getting ready to train for a triathlon, and I think that's something I want to try is just do a straight run and go right into a pool type setting or vice versa. So you think that's all right so far? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't see any. I have the red ones.
Okay.
So the color hasn't faded on the red.
Well, they have 2 different styles of short. The first is the 192s, which is what we have. Those are the mid-thigh, a little longer than mid-thigh shorts. I guess top of the knee shorts, running shorts. They have the mesh lining on the inside, just like your typical running short would have. And they're lightweight, very lightweight. They have 4 pockets in them, 2 back pockets, 2 inside the mesh itself. Not the mesh, the inside of the line itself. And then they have the 204s, which we didn't try out, so we're just going to give the review for the 192s. But the 204s are they are the higher running shorts.
They're like probably a 3-inch or 5-inch inseam. Yep. Or a short length.
And I'm gonna go along with you here. I've wore them every time I've ran since we got them. Sans one time, but I've ran them every time, and they are comfortable. They're I think the best compliment. I think, and I apologize to the company if this isn't what they want to hear, but they are like every short, and that's a good thing in that they are lightweight. They aren't doing anything funky or weird and that sort of thing. They're good running shorts, and I enjoy them.
I think what separates them from, I have Nikes, I have some Adidas, and I have Asics, are the 3 brands that I run every day in. Excuse me. And these are different, I think, in that they're a little longer than the other longer shorts I have, so I like that.
Sure.
And they feel a little lighter in weight than the other ones.
They do feel light. I will say the same thing. Now, I have Under Armour and Nike primarily for running shorts. I compared them to when I was going through the fabric itself and just kind of pull testing them, the Nike shorts I have. And they're a sturdy product. I've pretty close to about 6, 7, 8 times I've run in them. And I did have one issue with a little chafing, but that's because I was running outside and sweating, and it was really cold, so it was dry out. But that gets me to the point to what makes these different.
Right.
So there's a technology that they're using in these shorts is called the Winsert technology, and the point of this Windcert technology, it is patent pending,
Right.
is that these shorts are designed to be worn outside in the cooler weather, whatever you can handle.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've said this many times. I love wearing shorts. I would rather not wear pants, even in Iowa,
Right.
when it's snowing, all that stuff. Now, I will once it's like 15 degrees, but if it's above 20, I'm wearing shorts.
Right.
And the Windcert technology is basically, think of like baseball athletic underwear shorts,
Right.
like where you'd put your cup,
Yep.
right? Except this is a piece of fabric that's inserted into that cup area that's going to help shield,
Protect your junk.
protect your stuff in the cold weather. And it's not something I'd ever really thought of needing until I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did a solid 4-mile run and it was cold and sleeting and stuff like that. And I was out and I went out and I'm like, okay, it doesn't feel any different. It took a little bit of getting used to at first, but not because of comfort wise, just because there's something else there and I wasn't used to that. And I went out and then on my way back is when I ran into the wind and I was like, oh wow, okay, now I get it.
Right.
Like there's the instant of that's why this is helpful, because it was cold. It was 34 degrees out.
It's a neat idea.
It is.
And as they say, it's all great ideas are built around bad experiences or
Sure, yeah.
necessity.
Yeah, necessity.
Is
Yep.
the mother of all inventions. So anybody who's run out in really cold temperatures can say, geez,
Right.
it's a little uncomfortable.
Especially if you like wearing shorts.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the first time I wore mine, I took the insert out because I was wearing pants over them.
Yep.
And it felt too bulky.
Yep.
But since then, I've run just in the shorts, and they do a great job.
So I wanted to bring that up too, because I didn't realize the first couple times I ran in them that the insert would actually pull out, and you could take it out and run without it. Like it didn't cross my mind. I just for some reason thought, it's just there and it's there. But yeah, so that is removable. So if you don't want to use the protector, you don't have to. And it's held the top of the sleeve, I guess, where it sits
Sure.
in. Does have a little piece of Velcro there, so that could be something that could rub if you do take out the insert, or if it's not lined up correctly.
Right. Yeah, that's something you have to pay attention
Yep.
to, is making sure that closure is
Is
closed.
secured
Yep.
how it should be.
right.
But yeah, I mean that's a nothing thing. Like,
Right. I mean, I really like them. I tell you, they fit a little different, as they're just constructed a little different, and that was good for me. I
Sure.
like that.
Okay.
They might be maybe a little, I don't want to say they're snugger feeling, but it's just it was a nice pair of shorts to run in.
Yeah.
We're going to Iceland this summer, and they'll
Yep.
be the shorts that I take with me to run up there.
I had an issue with one thing, and this is legitimately, I don't even care about the chafing thing because it happens and it's cold and all that, and that happened to me. But the thing that got me was I was on my treadmill one day and I was running inside and I kept the insert in and all that stuff. And I put my cell phone in my back pocket because there's a little Velcro piece back there too.
Right.
And either I didn't get the Velcro secured or whatever, but the phone popped right out of
Your
my
phone
pocket.
came out of your
And I was
pocket.
like, so the pocket isn't deep enough to put your phone all the way in without it turning sideways in the back at least. Not that that's a bad thing, because most people are either going to hold their phones or they
Right.
might have an armband or something already for it. I just figured, where could I put my pocket or my phone?
Right.
And so I tried it in the back pocket. It didn't secure right and it popped right
Right.
out. And so,
And the pockets, to me, they seem more of kind of put some money in it, an ID.
sure, an ID would be a great idea. Yep.
Your car keys would be.
And I have iPhone 7 if that
Yeah.
makes a difference. So.
So I don't think most pockets you can fit a phone,
Right.
today's phone in them, because they're getting so big.
That's true. So overall thoughts?
I think they're a plus.
Okay. Price point for them, if you didn't know. Excuse me, I'm sorry. They are $69.99 a pair. Doesn't matter the style.
Right.
They are black based shorts
Right.
with colors on the outside of the legs. We both had red. There's blue option, and I believe there's a black option as well. So blue and black for the 192s. For the 204s, which are the shorter shorts, There is just the red. All right, that's what we got. I enjoyed them.
Yes.
And to Rough Road, you could find the product. It's ruffrd.com. Again, they're based out of the Omaha metro area. So try them out. You can
Definitely
find their product online, and it's a great. It really is a good product. And I don't want to minimalize it, but it's a really good running short that you don't think of, and that's a good thing. Like you don't think if you're, it's like a referee in basketball.
Right. If you notice them,
they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
I'd say, if you're looking for a new pair of shorts and you're going out there and you have some money to spend, and you're not bargain shopping, so you're going to go in and go to Dick's or one of the box stores, and you're going to throw down $60, $70 on a pair of new Nikes or Under Armour or anything else. Buy these, save up your $20, and then find your Nikes or any of those online at some discount place and buy last year's model and have an extra, because they're definitely worth their money, I think.
Absolutely, definitely worth their money. We don't have a grading system or a scale, but we do both. I think we do both recommend these shorts.
Absolutely.
So check them out, ruffrd.com. You can find them on social media as well. They're on all of the platforms that I've seen, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check them out that way.
Great.
Awesome. Thanks again to Rough Road for sending us the shorts to take a look at and to review for you guys. If anybody has any questions for us, you can get a hold of us through our social media accounts.
That's true.
All right. Next, we have a conversation, and it's going to be awesome.
It was a blast.
It was a blast. And Molly Sheridan is somebody who we found through a documentary, and Dave found her, and we contacted her, and she's an ultra marathoner that started out just because a friend asked her about a marathon.
No doubt.
Like how...
Right. Yep.
So join us for the conversation. We'll take a break right after this and be back with Molly Sheridan. And welcome back to the podcast. Here we have with us now Molly Sheridan, and we teased a little bit before. Molly is an ultra runner who was featured in a documentary that we watched over break. And Molly, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Hi, you guys.
Hi.
Let's talk a little bit about your running history and what led you to kind of start running in ultra marathons, and we'll talk about those specifically later. But where did you get started in your running journey?
It's kind of a funny story. I was getting ready to turn 50. That's 50. And my girlfriend called me and said, "Hey, do you want to run a marathon?" And I immediately said, "Oh, God, no. That sounds horrible." And I was just busy working full time, 3 kids, 2 of them getting ready to go to college. Kylie, my friend's calling from Virginia. I'm over in Nevada, and she's telling me, "Oh, yeah, let's run and train for a marathon." And the idea was absolutely not even on my radar.
Oh, wow.
So I just said, "No way, I'm just not interested." And she's saying fun in the same sentence as marathon. And I just kept saying no, and I hung up the phone. And what happened from that phone call is that all night I was haunted with the idea of, you know what, I am tired. I'm tired of working. I was lethargic. I asked myself, when's the last time I even went for a walk or worked out? And it was 0. Okay, so I was coming from a level of 0.
Oh, wow.
But that word she used, fun, I called her back the next day and said, "Okay, what's the fun part?" And she said, "Oh my gosh, let's do the Marine Corps Marathon. We have 6 months. We can go online and get a program and just train for it and do it." So she hooked me in with the idea of fun to do this marathon.
So
that's how it started.
So was it fun, I guess, would be the next question. Did you enjoy that first one?
A couple things happened on my journey to that first marathon, and one was that, okay, number one, I had no coach. I had no trainer. I didn't know anybody around me that ran. Okay, that's number one. Number two, Kylie's all excited about it, but she's back east. So since I didn't know anything about running, I just looked online. I saw a program. I started running, and I am just pounding the concrete. Okay.
Right.
The first mile I did, I thought I was going to have a heart attack and die. I'm thinking, oh my God, how do people do this? This is horrible. This is not fun. So for 4 weeks, I'm just pounding the pavement, just thinking no pain, no gain, right? Okay,
Right.
it's supposed to be miserable. My foot hurt. I went to a doctor, and the doctor took an x-ray, and he said, oh my gosh, you have a stress fracture. What are you doing? I go, oh man, I'm trying to train for this marathon. He goes, how old are you?
Oh, jeez.
Which is really strange. It's like, what? And I go, oh, I'm 49, getting ready to turn 50. And he goes, oh, you're too old to be running. Pick a different
wow.
sport.
Wow.
Okay, so then I got pissed. And then
Right.
it's like, wait a second. Now you can't tell me that because, hey, I have this goal now, and now I want to do something, and I'm trying to find the fun here, everybody. So
Right.
that was a catalyst, really, because I got in the car. He said, no, you're done. Look what you did to yourself. It's over. Pick a different sport. So I went home. I went on the internet. I found that you could do pool running if you have a stress fracture. So I got in the pool every day, and I was pissed for 6 weeks going, you know what? You can't tell me I can't do this. So I know this sounds weird. This is my running start. But anyway, I got out of the pool 6 weeks later, really got smart about injuries, and really delved into, I never had another injury after that. For me, it was like all about listening to my body,
Sure.
getting some training. I finished that marathon. And by the way, it was super fun because Kylie and we just decided to do it just for the experience. We wanted to we didn't care about our time.
Mm-hmm.
We just wanted to finish. So I finished that marathon. When I crossed the finish line, this little thing in my head said, how far can you go? Because
Right.
I just didn't think I could do it, We were slow. We just had fun. We finished the marathon. It was like, it expanded my mind. It was like, oh my gosh, you know what? I never thought I could do that. So I know this sounds crazy, but from there I signed up for a 50K. I wanted to go further, just see how
Sure.
far I can go.
If there's one thing we know about runners, nobody's crazy. Not one.
Right.
I know. So it was amazing. So I signed up for a 50K. I finished the 50K. I was just out there digging it. It was trail. It was super fun. So I signed up for a 50 miler.
Oh wow.
And I just kept experimenting with myself personally to see how far I could go. Then I decided I read an article in Newsweek magazine. They had listed the top 5 toughest foot races on the planet. And I decided to just go for it and see how far I could go. And I signed up for the Marathon des Sables, which was 150 miles across the Sahara Desert.
Oh.
Finished that, and from there I went and signed up for the Badwater Ultra Marathon,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
which is, but when I first signed up, you have to put your resume in, and the race director emailed me back. He goes, I'm sorry, you don't have enough experience. You can't, there's no way. So I said, okay, what do I need to do? And he goes, you have to do a lot more. So I did like 17 ultramarathons in a year.
Oh.
And honestly, never got an injury. Why? Because I was really paying attention. I was
Sure.
really, really excited about the running. I just found out that I just loved it. It was really a lot of fun. And I totally understand when people don't want to do distance, that's fine. But you know what? The body can do so much. So it's really interesting how if people just walk and run and get past the uncomfortable part and really have their body adapt, it's an amazing thing.
Absolutely.
What kind of time frame would you say you went through? You said, around age 49, and I don't need to know your current age or anything like that. But,
Okay.
to where you are now, you're running 17 ultra marathons in 1 year. What was that time frame?
It was a year after I started running.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Jeez.
So it's okay. You can ask me my age. I just turned 60.
Oh,
so
congratulations.
Thank you. I feel more fit now than I did 30s and 40s.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, and I think part of that's not only just physically but mentally. I think when you test yourself and you put yourself in a position of really excelling yourself physically, mentally, it just does so much for you personally, self-confidence and how you feel about yourself. And I don't know, it's all wrapped up in that brain power. But so really, I know it sounds, I wouldn't recommend anybody go do 17 ultramarathons in the
Right.
first year because you know what? Hey, that's a lot
Right.
And I never did that many after that, but I just started picking and choosing what I really wanted to go after. But it was just all about experimenting with myself. I felt like I was a wimpy person when I first started running. I felt like that, I'm average. I
Right.
still feel like I'm an average person, but I think it's amazing that an average person can choose to do whatever they want to do. So I think I'm the least likely person ever, and I say that truthfully, to ever do what I did. I mean, honestly, if you ever read my book, Running Past Midnight, it's hilarious because, when I went to the Sahara Desert, it's like, okay, here, you need a compass and a map, and
Right.
you're going to be running through. I never used a compass or a map, and I'm out there going, which one? I thought I'd be following a bunch of Frenchmen. Hey, everybody's gone. You're in the middle of the desert.
Oh my goodness.
It's hilarious. I mean, but honestly, one of the most amazing experiences of my life. It was just surreal. It was so amazing. So, and that's what I think running does. It puts you in positions of discovery about yourself, about your body, your mind. It's just the best. It's the best sport on the planet.
Right, and it's extremely humbling for everybody who does it. I think, that's Rob and I talk about it frequently. You go out there and you have an idea of what you can do, and sometimes we have a little hubris in thinking we can go out and do something, and as soon as you do that, the road or the trail jumps up and bites you, and you realize you're just who you are. And
That's
go out
exactly
there.
right.
I was looking at your website and doing some stuff and looking around. This thing that pops up when I look at your resume of running is, if you were telling somebody who wanted to start off in doing this, I mean, you go and you run in the Sahara Desert. Not all of us can book a flight to the Sahara Desert and run. So, I would say, first of all, what do you do as a day job? But I won't ask that. You must rely on some sponsorship and stuff. How would somebody go about if that's how you do all that? What got you started? What got you hooked up with having people that are willing to say you're just average Joe going out, or Jane going out there to run, getting people to help you out and do that?
That's a really good question. To go to the Sahara Desert for me, I had a vacation fund. That was my vacation. So I just decided I'd been putting this, and I just decided to go and use my own money for that.
Okay.
So, and that was a big expense, but so was a trip to Europe or
Sure.
a big vacation or go to Hawaii or whatever. And then your other question was just like, you don't have to go to the Sahara Desert to get that experience.
Right.
Seriously, most people can get that feeling and that experience on a trail in the forest. I
Right.
mean, seriously, you can go get your thinking to a higher level and just by moving your body, in extreme ways. I happen to I also like to travel, so I put the two together.
Right.
And I don't know. There's so many places in the United States. I'm sure in Iowa, you guys have amazing places that you can just go, even if it's
Absolutely.
outside. So as far as going to those exotic places, man, we have a ton of amazing places right around us, and it's just going and finding them and experiencing that, and
So
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, no, that's great. So along with that, my other part is, again, looking at this list, is there any of these that are highly, because, looking at maybe one of these, you would say, geez, that's like a highlight run, whether it's trying to run across the Himalayas twice or run in the Sahara or any of them, and
Right.
you've got to go and experience some great things. Is there a highlight one? Is there one that just stands out above and beyond the others?
Well, I've been back to the Himalayas 5 times.
Oh, holy cow! Sorry.
So only because I haven't even blogged about the other times. The Himalayas to me, and the little place called Leh, when I stepped off the plane over there the very first time, and the only reason I went over there is because after I did Badwater, the race director, Rajat, I think you might have seen in the documentary, he
Yes.
just called me and said, hey, you finished Badwater, would you like to come to my race? So he pretty much hosted me. said, come on, and let's, and it had never been attempted, and the Indian government said, hey, it's impossible.
Right.
You guys can't do that. So I was so intrigued, and I totally trusted Rajat, and I think the guy's amazing. His creative mind coming up with this event, and really he put all the safety factors in. We had medical people there and everything. It's a crazy race, but he put everything in place to make it really appealing, and hey, let's go see if we can do this thing. So when I got there, though, oh my God, I felt like that was the most amazing place on the planet, India and the Himalayas. And I try to go every year. I've been busy here with my own company, so I haven't been the last 2 years, but I'll get over there probably next year, just because I love that place. The people there are amazing. The culture is amazing. The place is beautiful. It's a very humble place, and once you get a ticket over there to go to India, honestly, it's not an expensive place to go visit. So if it's on your bucket list, go. It's worth every minute. It's just a beautiful place. So that particular race, since it was so it had never been attempted, I would say that was probably the most out of my comfort zone I've ever been, and it was so challenging on so many levels that I would say that would be the number one race that I still think about. Wow, how did that?
Has that race grown in size since the documentary was made and we got to watch you run?
I wouldn't say it's grown in size. For that distance, there's still a small number of athletes that choose the distance, but they have grown with shorter distances and groups of people going there to go experience that area, which I'm really happy to see.
Yeah, it was fascinating to watch you guys run out there, because for most of us, we don't have any idea what that part of the world looks like. Sure. And
yeah, it's
crazy.
You guys got to go. If you guys ever get a chance, just go. And
I'm going to use Dave's vacation fund to get me over there.
Yeah,
So.
no, my summer goal is to run Iceland this year. So my wife and we're going to Iceland, and I'm going to try to squeeze in a trail run. I'm not running 138 miles. So
that's okay. Hey, that's exciting. Now, doesn't that just change your mindset, having that on your plate to go have that goal? I know some people don't enjoy traveling, but if you do, but it's really nice to do not only go visit the country, but also get out there and run in it, because you experience it on a different level.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to piggyback on the destination things just real quick, and we know that runners go through different things mentally when they're running long distances. When you're at a destination like in the Himalayas or the desert or wherever, where does your mind go? Do you focus on your environment? The India documentary or the Himalayas there, I'm thinking, gosh, just don't get hit by a truck. What sort of things do you go through mentally when you're running that distance?
A lot of different things. For me, I'm so interested in the people in those different places. I'm always curious how they live, what their lifestyle's like. I try to be respectful of their world and their place, and be appreciative. Even it's very humble in India that they don't have a lot. I mean, I came back to the United States and I kind of felt sick at how much we have, and it was just a new appreciation for, oh my gosh, we have too much stuff here. But I don't know. Every place is different. You take a little bit of something away that helps you as a human being, I think. And then it's different when you're running the race itself. Again, back there, everybody comes out of their house. They're watching you. They think they're fascinated with what you're doing. It was, they embrace running and exercise, and I don't know. It was all positive as far as I was concerned.
Oh, it looked like it. The part that just the last thing actually, because it was a profound thing watching you guys run.
Yeah, and in our perspective, that's all we know is that from what came from that documentary, especially through there. But
so you living out in Nevada, and you kind of have wide open spaces. You get the understanding. I grew up in the middle of Nebraska in the Sandhills, and my first marathon I ran was the Sandhills Marathon, and there was, I don't know, 70 of us that ran. So you spend, I ran 10 miles, and other than the aid station workers, I didn't see another person. So,
Nice.
but you're running that in the Himalayas, and I was just looking at the results. So you ran 2010, 2011, and 2010, at least on their website, there was only 3 runners.
That I know.
And what there's 7 or 8 in 2011. So it's not like you have a lot of company when you're on the trail, because that's the one thing I noticed when I was watching the documentary, and I think it was based on the 2011 race, that, geez, you spent a lot of time. Other than, it was amazing, the support staff and the medical staff and the people checking on you. You're right. It looked above and beyond anything that I've seen before. But you're out there by yourself.
You are, and you're in your own head a lot. So, and the key for me, every time I've gone, is my crew, especially the 2011. That was my crew was my daughter Bailey, and then my dear friend Dr. John Vigil, and then Jigme, the local Ladakhi guy. Those guys are what got me to the finish line. And so, really, is as difficult as that race is, your crew is essential, because you're either going to make it or break it with your crew. Like on the second peak, when it was snowing and we had a snowstorm hit us.
Right.
I'd run it all day trying to get to like the 100-mile mark before I hit that second peak. I'm just trying to get to this aid station kind of hut. I know this sounds weird, but all I wanted to do was just get there, because I was just losing it and just mentally just going, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to make this. And then the snow comes in, and so it's snowing, and we got lost, and I got to the aid station, and then I thought there was going to be food in a cot, but there wasn't, because all the other crews had already gone there. I mean, it's just a disaster as far as, in my mind, what I thought I was going to get at that aid station. There's nothing. And at that point, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. It's freezing, it's snowing, and there's nothing there for us. And so I just looked at my crew and said, are you guys with me? Because we got to keep going. And if the crew says, no, we're too tired, or we can't, or I don't want to go on, your race is over.
Right.
But instead they said, we're out of here, let's go. And
that's so cool.
it was like a defining moment in the whole race for me. The most defining moment was when I looked down at my feet, and I took that step, and everything in me is going, oh, don't go. You're so tired. This is so awful right now. It's just like, but you know what? That one step, I just know if I could do the one step and the next step. And the truth was, I always do the Molly check. Hey, do you have any bones sticking out of your body? Are you in it? Or, is there anything really debilitating that's going to harm you as your body?
Right.
But no, I'm just miserable.
Right.
I am just uncomfortable. And then you keep moving, and you just regroup up in your head again. And so that moment, I'll never forget. It's just like, so many times we get in a race or we're running and it gets really, really uncomfortable. I've seen so many people quit. They'll just stop because, it's uncomfortable. But what they don't, or they've forgotten or they don't know, is that if you keep moving and if you keep refueling your body and just kind of calm down, maybe you need to walk for a while and get your head back, you're going to be okay, and you're going to get your third wind and your fourth wind and your fifth wind. And I think that's the key for ultras, is that you are going to feel better. It's not always going to be that dark place.
That sounds so true from what we hear from our ultra running friends. All right, so I want to change gears real quick. You have your business and a website, Desert Sky Adventures. You want to tell us a little about that?
Yeah, I started out as an event planner in Las Vegas, doing huge, giant events for some philanthropists that I worked for. And so when I started running, I by accident, I kind of inherited this race, and I took this race over because the race director retired, and I just started running. I thought, oh my gosh, I love running so much. I'd really like to put on my own events. And so I started Desert Sky Adventures 9 years ago. We do 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons. We do trail races. And my whole goal and my whole purpose for this company is for people to walk and run for adventure. And I don't care if they're only I'm not gonna say only, if they're doing 5Ks or 10Ks, that's awesome. And that's where, that's just so basic for people to get out there and move. It's such a great thing that I totally want the whole planet moving. And I just love my company. I moved up to Reno 3 years ago. My family's all up here, so we're all runners, and there's just a really beautiful area next to Lake Tahoe. So I just love what I do.
That's fantastic. And I see you have training plans on the site as well, or?
Yeah, we train. We're all coaches and trainers, and we just get everybody moving. We just have a lot of fun. It's really, really awesome.
Awesome. Let's just recap real quick. You have a book, Running Past Midnight, which I'm going to go check out right now.
Yep.
You said it was funny, so I have to go check it out now.
Right.
It's pretty funny.
And Desert Sky Adventures, if people wanted to contact you on social media, are they able to?
Yeah, and people are also welcome to email me, Molly at desertskyadventures.com. If you ever have any questions or anything, I'm always open for people to, any help they need out there. Give me just send me an email, and I'd be happy to just give you some tips maybe for where you're at to just move up and keep running.
Awesome.
Our standard last question, and this will end it for us, is, and you might have a great story just because of all of your experiences, but what is one thing that was like the most inspirational or mesmerizing thing that you've seen on a run, or the funniest thing you've ever seen on a run? Something like, oh my gosh, that just happened.
The funniest thing that happened is that story I was just telling you, when it was a snowstorm and I had to get out there. It was like the most miserable time in my existence as a runner, going up Tanglang Law, 18,000 foot peak in a snowstorm. Oh. My crew pulled up about a mile in front of me, parked the van, and I'm running towards the van. Absolutely, I just am miserable mentally, physically. It was the worst moment of my life. And my daughter had attached blinky lights to the end of her 10 fingers, and she was on the side of the road singing Domo, what you got, Mr. Roboto, that Domo, whatever.
Yeah,
acting like a robot.
Yep.
And at first I thought I was hallucinating. And we busted up so much. I was laughing so hard. It was the funniest thing. It totally got me out of my funk. It was the weirdest, most bizarre moment in running. Anyway, I don't know. You almost had to be there, but
oh no, absolutely. Those are the things that make running fun. Yep. Those experiences.
Yeah, so that was it for me.
Well, Molly, we appreciate your time
Absolutely.
today and being on our podcast. We couldn't ask for anybody better, so thank you very much.
Hey, thanks so much. It was my pleasure and joy. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
All righty.
Don't forget, you could check out all of Molly's social media, or start with her website, Desert Sky Adventures, on the internet. And
awesome.
We'll have her link to that Twitter account in our show information page.
Yes.
So check that out. Time for Other Weeks. I'm going to do the race. Oh, no, tip of the week. You're doing the race of the week.
Get the race.
You want to do it?
Sure.
All right, you're up.
All right, so the race of the week, we've been talking about 110 episodes of, or 109 episodes of road races, pretty much.
Sure.
And so I picked a trail half marathon. So it's the Key Wash Trail Half Marathon, 10K and 5K. It is Saturday, April 21st. For all of you who started the new year off and say, hey, I need to pick up on my running. You're a month into that, so you got January done. Work out on February, March. You'll be ready for a mid-April half marathon. It's in Washington, Iowa. Has some really cool awards. The overall male and female winner, you win $100 and a pair of running shoes. Second place, $75. Third place, $50. And if you win your Masters, another $50. No double dipping, so there's a chance for more than one person to win.
Nice.
It's looks like a cool, fun run over in Washington, Iowa. I think it's right near or helped sponsored by the YMCA of Washington County, Iowa.
Cool.
And you can find more information on our website.
That's right, RunIowa.org. We'll get that show information on there, and we'll tweet it out as well. All right, my tip of the week is I kind of wanted to do the same thing you did, where you kind of went away from what we kind of traditionally do a little bit. I know this is episode 110, but we, like you said, at the beginning of the year, some people get started with their running at the beginning of the year, and so I want to help out those beginners. All of a sudden, my mic got really loud.
Yeah.
I don't know why that did. So I want to help out any of you beginning runners out there and getting started. And here's kind of my disclaimer on this. I know that probably a lot of you listening aren't beginning runners. You might actually be running while you're listening to this.
Right.
So maybe these tips will actually help you help somebody else get running. Molly even said, get people out there.
Right.
Get people running and get people moving. And so maybe you can help somebody who wants to get started but isn't sure how. You could always tell them about our podcast, but we're a couple just average guys. You are good runners. So here's what to do to get started running, going from sedentary to running in 5 steps. This is from a website I found, Zen Habits, but I really like the way they structured it and kind of got it out there. And there's the disclaimer, if you are health risk, make sure you're getting checked out by your doctor and that sort of thing. But I'm just going to give you the quick 5 tips. If you want more details, I'll have the information in the show info for you to take a look at. Step 1, start by walking. I mean, it's as easy as that. 1 foot in front of the other. Go out the door. Don't worry about distance. Don't worry about time. Just get out the door and do a block.
Yep.
Walk at work. Walk up the steps. If you have an opportunity to if you have a break, go for a quick walk in the hallway. Just get started by walking. If you can time yourself, do it 20 to 25 minutes for the week. If 5 minutes a day, and just kind of get started. If you're still doing that after a few weeks, increase it a little more, 40 minutes. Keep going. If you're getting comfortable with your walking, and maybe I mentioned my mother-in-law who runs a mile every morning or 2 miles every morning. It's just second nature to her now. Right. She doesn't bat an eye at 2 miles running anymore. But if that becomes the case and you're comfortable with it, then maybe you start run walking. That's step 2. Start to run walk. Add a walk at the beginning. Run a little bit just until you're comfortable or uncomfortable, excuse me, and then start walking again to finish it out. Then increase that running that you're doing. Right. Step 3. If you are walking 5 minutes, running 10 minutes, walk 5. Right. And then maybe it's 3, 15, 3, or whatever my math is. Okay. Step 4, follow the rule of 9. Okay. So once you start running, you're just walking, or your short walking breaks in your run. So what you're going to do is commit to 9 workouts running in those bursts. In that, hey, I'm going to do a short walk, a run, and a short walk. And it doesn't have to be a sprint. Right. It's just moving in a jog a little bit faster. Once you get those 9 runs in, you're going to go to step 5, which is taking your running to the next level. Try to run a specific distance for a certain number of time, or period of time. Sorry about the bell there. I actually saw somebody in one of our Facebook groups that we have. She ran her first mile without stopping. Took 12 minutes and 18 seconds. But that was great. I mean, you ran for a full mile and you didn't stop. Right. So just keep building yourself up. So check that stuff out on our website, RunIowa.org. We'll come back in just a second, wrap things up right after this. All right, Dave, any last thoughts?
No, everybody, I hope everybody's enjoying the cold of the Iowa winter and you're safe out there.
Right. Hey, it is cold, so if you're really cold, we got stocking caps on our website. We do. Just throwing that out there.
Yes, and some nice hoodies and pullovers and
really
stuff.
Nice rain jacket.
Yeah.
So check it out, runiowa.org. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great week or 2 weeks or a run or whatever you're doing. Happy trails.
Happy trails.
Happy trails to you until